New Zealanders can be proud of.
Melissa Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What an honour it is to actually speak after these fantastic ministers who have spoken with passion and lots of animation as well. So it is a great pleasure to rise to give my support in the Appropriation 2012-13 Estimates Bill. But before I get on to some of the topics, I'd like to sort of give a little bit of perspective on the education topic that a lot of speakers have talked about in this House today as well. I was originally from Korea. I was born in the 60s when, after the Korean War, Korea was a very poor country. It was an aid-receiving country. And in those times, I was in primary school in Korea, and there were at least 65 children in one class, in 65 kids. And because I was one of the youngest kids in the class and the smallest, I was number 65 often. Always had to take the last turn. And, you know, considering that I come from a country where there were 65 kids in one class, I don't think it actually did me any bad things. But having actually moved from Korea to Malaysia, where the class sizes are almost about the same, and not speaking a word of Bahasa or a word of Chinese or a word of Tamil or Hindi, and being in a class where none of the things that the teachers were talking about made any sense until I was about 15. The quality of teachers made a difference. It wasn't the class size that actually helped a non-language speaking, non-English speaking, non-Malay speaking child in a foreign country. It was a teacher. It was the quality of the teacher, it was the care of the teacher who paid attention to me that made a whole lot of difference. And now, I think having actually started learning the language at this age of about 15, I like to think that I speak a bit of English, and hopefully better than a little bit, that I am bilingual, and I'm very proud of that. Sir, until I became a member of Parliament, the budget, when people talked about the budget only it was only relevant where it affected my life, my personal life. But having been in Parliament now in my second term, my perception has changed dramatically. And I like to say what a fantastic job our Finance Minister, Honourable Bill English, is doing and has done for this country by producing a budget that is for our times. The burden is on all of us, not just on the government, but all of us as citizens. Sir, a lot of people have dubbed it many things, but I'd like to just acknowledge the brilliance of the zero new money budget in managing to provide and investing in better frontline services as a priority. And considering there is no new money spent on these investments, we must acknowledge how good national government is in managing our finance when our predecessors, the Labour government, in their 9 years managed to deliver less in much better economic climate, much better economic climate than we currently have now, sir. As previous speakers have said, we have not had such a bad time economically for 70 to 80 years, and we are delivering for New Zealanders. We are delivering more than Labour's 9 years ever did. And going back to the class sizes and teacher numbers, let me just say, in the last decade, the number of teachers, the growth in teacher numbers have increased by 12.7% or something close to that amount. But the role growth has only been about 2.5%. And did the smaller class sizes over the last decade mean that we actually achieved better outcomes for our children? Absolutely not. We have not. It plateaued, and it did not grow. And what we're doing is innovative ideas to improve the outcome. That 20% of our students leave our school education system with the inability to read, write, or do maths is an appalling result, appalling situation that this country is in. And creating a situation where we are providing education for our children is something that I'm sure all of us in this house agree that education is very, very important. So, there have been many speakers in this budget debate, and Chester Burrows and Simon Bridges were among them. But another one that actually caught my attention was the impassioned speech by my colleague, Honourable Tau Henare. He spoke about the, I almost make that mistake about the English language that the opposition did, sorry. Thank you. He spoke about the opposition members who were willing to wave goodbye to their whānau, who were leaving for mining jobs in Australia. I think that's what he talked about. But we're not happy to say yes to mining or oil and gas exploration that will create jobs that could keep people in this country, sir. And yet the opposition members keep on harking on about where's the job, where are the jobs? Well, sir, if they did not oppose every growth initiative this government has proposed, perhaps that question might have some credibility. If they hadn't opposed every single restraint we've made to get back into surplus, they might have some credibility. But, sir, maybe the word credibility and Labour Party don't quite go together. Maybe that's the problem. And if they did, they wouldn't oppose growth, nor would they oppose jobs, nor would they actually oppose responsible fiscal management. They would be supporting this government to get back into surplus and actually grow this country, provide more jobs, better opportunities for all New Zealanders. So, having moved to the Social Services Select Committee in the 50th Parliament, I'm very pleased about what our Minister, Honourable Paula Bennett, is doing in Vote Social Development. I like to say that as a New Zealand citizen, I'm very proud that we have a welfare system there, that is there for those who are in fact in need. Our welfare system will always be there to support those in genuine need. That is what it is supposed to be, and that is what it was created for. But our welfare system in New Zealand is actually failing many, sir. The cost of our welfare system is around $8 billion a year to pay benefits to 351,000 people. That's 13% of our working age population, and that is 1 in 8 people on a benefit. Sir, welfare is necessary, but too many people have been on benefit for far too long. In fact, 170,000 have been on welfare for most of the last decade. 220,000 children are currently growing up in welfare-dependent homes, and 33,000 women on DPB having subsequent children on the benefit. Now, we know that young people who come onto the benefit early stay on a benefit longer, and long-term welfare dependency is in fact destructive, trapping vulnerable young people into a life of limited choices, poverty, and poor health. We want to support young people to make better choices, stay in education, training, or work. And so, talking about the children who are growing up in welfare-dependent homes, the outcomes for those children, whether it is health outcomes or education outcomes, social outcomes, all outcomes of those children do not compare with children who are actually not growing up in a welfare-dependent home. They are not performing as well, and we are doing something about it. And I think the other day I was speaking to Honourable Paula Bennett, and I actually said that she had balls tackling this issue, that Labour Party, when they were in government, did not have the balls to fix this problem, and we are getting on with the program. This government will deliver a surplus in 2014-15. This government is growing jobs. This government is making sure that the finances of this country is managed responsibly and pragmatically. Thank you, sir.